Now let's welcome the director of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Edgar Wright.
Oh, hello.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me here on this green screen.
Absolutely. I gotta ask you, what do you think the extra on the Scott Pilgrim DVD will be the best for all the hardcore Scott Pilgrim fans?
Oh my God. I don't know. There's genuinely 17 hours of extras on the Blu-ray, so it's difficult to pick. Well, I don't know. Like, I guess I mean the making of documentary is really good. It's really in depth. It's like an hour long, so I don't know where to start. Like, sort of, we tried to put absolutely everything onto there because, you know, we, in some form, were making this film for like 6 years, and in production, like, you know, the production of it was 2 years' work. So we had all these amazing rehearsal videos and things that you don't usually see behind the scenes, and you know, some directors don't like showing that stuff, but I thought it was interesting to see, you know, the actors in rehearsals and the stunt tapes and, you know, trying out the effects and stuff. So absolutely everything is on there.
What do you think, like, the sort of the most complicated stunt was?
All of the fight scenes were really complicated because they had so many moving parts, and the most complicated part of the of any of the fight scenes was that the actors actually had to do quite a lot of their own stunts because, you know, as you see, they don't have masks on, so it was more difficult to hide their faces than your average superhero film. So because of that, the actors all trained for like 8 weeks to kind of pull off the fight sequences. And, you know, you'll see on the DVD, you'll see actually that the actors are actually doing like a larger amount of the stunts than you would think.
So that being said, how, if at all, has your experience sort of making Scott Pilgrim changed your approach into how you make other films?
Well, I definitely did a lot of stuff on this which I'd never done before. I mean, I'd done action and special effects in some, you know, like in smaller quantities, and, you know, Hot Fuzz has a lot of action in it. But this was like, you know, we had massive kind of martial arts sequences and a lot of effects. So it was a real great kind of collaboration between, you know, we had some like world-class talents behind the camera in like digital effects and cinematography and the stunt work and stuff. So that was incredible. It was, I'm so proud of how it looks. It's, you know, definitely my favorite film visually that I've done.
So you love films?
I do love films. I think this has been like, yeah, I hope there's a lot of evidence to that.
Can you tell us, maybe there are some films that helped influence the creation of Scott Pilgrim?
I guess they were. I mean, Scott Pilgrim is not really, I couldn't tell you a movie that it's exactly like, and that's one of the things hopefully that's good about it, is it's not really like anything else. But when we were making the movie, there were some films I would show to some of the cast members that like aren't really like Scott Pilgrim, but like definitely are in the same vein, and all sorts of kind of movies like comic book adaptations like Danger Diabolique, which is a late 60s kind of pop art kind of heist movie directed by Mario Bava. The 1980 version of Flash Gordon, of which I'm a big defender, and I think it's fantastic and fun and very colourful. And actually we use a piece of music from Flash Gordon in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. One of the Queen tracks crops up, and lots of people who love Flash Gordon sort of comment on that, the sound of Ming the Merciless's ring in Scott Pilgrim. And then like I watched a lot of like martial art films, like a lot of the 70s ones actually, like Five Fingers of Death, 36 Chambers of Shaolin, Master of the Flying Guillotine, One Arm Boxer. So a lot of those ones, with the kind of, some of which are like the first like tournament martial art films that actually then later influenced the video games. So something like One Arm Boxer and Master of the Flying Guillotine actually ended up influencing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Tekken, the video games. So it's interesting to watch those ones. What else? Oh, some musical films like Phantom of the Paradise, Brian De Palma's like 70s like rock opera, and Russ Meyer's Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Both of those have kind of elements about the kind of the rock and roll satire that I really like. But yeah, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and Phantom of the Paradise both have villains in the movies are based on Phil Spector, way before he did anything suspect. Like, so it's kind of fascinating. There's two films, one made in 1970 and one made in 1973, that both feature Phil Spector-style villains, and that kind of influenced myself and Jason Schwartzman in the portrayal of Gideon, who actually looks kind of stunningly like sort of the characters from those films. In fact, one of the costumes in the end of the film is based on one of the costumes from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it.
That's good. I hope I mentioned enough films.
Well, you've got a lot of fans. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.